This math process video will walk you through the process of converting from scientific notation to standard notation. Remember that you can pause, rewind, or fast forward at any point depending on what you need for your specific problem. The first question we want to ask when converting from scientific to standard notation is the exponent positive or negative? And by exponent, I mean whatever number is next to your 10. So in this case, this would be positive. If it was a -5, it would be negative. I'm going to do positive exponents first. If you have a negative exponent, please skip ahead in the video. Step 1 in converting from scientific to standard notation with a positive exponent is going to be to find the decimal point. So if we look at my left example, the decimal point's right there. Now if we look over on the right, there's no decimal here. So just remember that your decimal for a whole number is always to the right of that number. So we're just going to mark the decimals. Our second step is going to be to identify our exponent. So that's always going to be the superscript number next to the 10. So in this example, I have an 8, and over here I have a 4. Now the exponent tells us how many places we are going to move the decimal to the right. For positive exponents, we are always moving to the right. For step 3, we are going to move our decimal however many places the exponent was to the right. So you see I've written the numbers here for reference. So I'm just going to start at my decimal point, and we're going to count 8 to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now you may have some empty spaces like this. I will show you what to do in the next step. For this one, remember the decimal point is right here. So we're going to go 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. For step 4, we are going to rewrite our number and add zeros as necessary. So you see I have all these blank spaces here where zeros were taken out when they converted it. So we're just going to put those back in. So I leave spaces and then I put the zeros in. There we go. Now I just rewrite it all out. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zeros. Now after I've put all of those in, I can go back in and throw in my commas. This is good for especially long numbers. You don't want to ever work that way with your commas. You just want to put your numbers and then you can go every 3 going to the left. So if we look at my example over here, I'm adding 4 zeros. So I'm going to rewrite my number and put my comma in, so it's going to be 50,000. And that's going to be how you convert to standard notation with a positive exponent. If you have a negative exponent on your scientific notation, it's going to work very much the same as a positive. The only change is going to be the direction we go in. So step 1 is still going to be to find the decimal point. On this one, I have it right here. Again, I have a 5, no decimal point, so just mark yourself a decimal point there to the right of your whole number. Step 2, we're going to identify the exponent. Now this time the exponent tells us how many places to move to the left. So we're going to be going in this direction because it's negative and we're going to have a number that's less than 1. So on this one, my exponent is going to be -8. And on this one, my exponent is going to be -4. For step 3, I'm going to move the decimal however many number of places to the left that my exponent was. So you see I've written this in. Here we have -8, here we have -4. And when you're doing the problem, I always recommend you write that number above your number so you know how many places you're moving. So I'm going to start, and I'm going to go 8 to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to do the same thing for my 5, but I'm going 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because this is going to be a small number, I am going to mark that my new decimal point is going to come at the very end of all the zeros I'm about to put in. In step 4, I'm going to rewrite the number and add zeros in as necessary. So on this one, I'm just going to write zeros in throughout here every time I skipped a spot for my decimal. So I'm just going to start filling these in. And then I'm going to rewrite it. I always double count my zeros. So I have 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 zeros. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I always count because it's very easy to add or subtract a 0 and then your answer is wrong. So double count these. There's a lot of zeros. On my other example, I'm just going to throw in some zeros and then I'm going to rewrite. So that is how to convert from scientific notation to standard notation.